So welcome to today's case study. We got Terry here. He just finished his 90 days. It's a little bit longer, but we're playing catch up here. The both of us have been busy, so we're going to talk about his 90-day, 3-month experience in the kinetic method. Welcome, Terry.
Hey, Mauro, how's it going?
Can you introduce yourself a little bit and tell us, age, what you do for work, your schedule, so that people see, oh, that guy, this is what it's about.
Yeah, my name's Terry Stash. I started a month before my 43rd birthday, so November of last year. Then I turned 43 in December. I own an insurance agency in Bellingham, Washington, which is about 90 miles north of Seattle, in Washington State. And I have 2 kids. So single dad, 2 kids, part-time. They're with me 50% of the time. So the reason I reached out to you and joined you was because I'm a busy business owner. I mean, I'm working, on the days when I don't have my sons, I'm working 10, 12 hours a day. And then when I have my sons, I'm working, I'll leave at 3, which is a blessing when you're a business owner, you can do that. So I'll leave at 3 o'clock and pick them up. But then you put on the other hat, right? And so now you're the parent. So that's a 24-hour day job. So I was just juggling all these balls. And over the years, life just got away from me, and I got up. I'm 6'1". I got up to 259 pounds, and I saw a picture of myself, and I just said, okay, I got to draw a line in the sand. And over the years, I'd tried, fad diets. I'd worked out a little bit. I'd done this and that, but I never. I just never. It was kind of like if you're buying stocks in the stock market randomly, that was my approach, just a shotgun approach. And if it didn't work, then I moved on to the next thing and the next thing. And just next thing you know, you're 259 pounds. And when I saw that picture of myself at my son's birthday party, I was like, okay, it's time to do something. And then 10 months later, I'd done all these things in the 10 months by myself. And then 10 months later, I saw another picture of myself on a vacation weekend, and I looked exactly the same. And I said, you know what? I don't like the way I look 10 months later. And I remember telling myself, I don't like the way I look in that picture there. So now it's time to do something. And so I feel like I had all the tools and I had the motivation and all that. I just didn't know how to put it all together. And so that's what the kinetic method really did for me. And working with you just showed me that I'm not crazy. Like there's no reason that I got into that shape other than the choices that I was making for myself. And B, that life doesn't have to be hard when you're trying to transform yourself, to be completely honest, Mauro, if you're 259 pounds, that's a tough thing. Someone to say, hey, and I remember on the first call when I was talking to you, you said, hey, you should shoot for 15% body fat. And if I could do that in 90 days, would that be important to you, or would you value that? And I was like, yeah, for sure, but that ain't going to happen. And I was just telling you, like, it literally did happen. So, and it wasn't hard, and I'm not starving, and I have more energy, and I sleep well, and all of those things. So I really thank you for that. And all I did was call you, and then I literally surrendered myself, because as a business owner and a single dad, you don't have time to think about certain things. And so for once, I was like, you know what? If this guy can do what he says he can do, then I'm not going to argue with him. I'm just going to do what he says. And that's exactly what I did. And it wasn't, I don't know. It was exactly what you advertised. So I'm thankful for that.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you did awesome. Or you're still doing awesome. You're doing great work. You take action. You're relentless, and you're setting new records, new standards, and a lot of people are watching you in the group. What with everything you've said, with the tools and the results you've gotten, what do you feel was different this time from your past approaches?
Well, first of all, I don't think I said it, but I weighed in today. I'm 225 pounds. So since November the 8th, I've lost 34 pounds, which it's easy to lose 5 or 10 pounds real quick to win some weight loss contest with your friends. And then next thing you know, you're back to the same weight and you're like, ah, shucks. And then your friends are like, hey, we should do another weight loss challenge. Well, for what? Like, we're just going to do the same thing we did before, right? So the difference this time was how your program teaches you not just how to do the things, but it's not a diet. It's teaching you the why behind some of the food choices. Like, here's why you need to eat some of these foods. Here's what it's doing for your body at your age. Here's some things that you need to be cognizant of. And it was more of a holistic approach. Anybody can say, oh, you're not working out right now, Terry. Well, why don't you work out 3 times a day for the next 2 weeks, and you'll build lean muscle mass, and you'll probably burn some fat. Well, yeah, no, like, duh, like, that's true. But I feel like I have the tools to sustain this, moving forward indefinitely. So that's the big difference. It's not like a scam. It's not a lose weight fast program. It's, let me teach you the skills to do this moving forward. And in a perfect world, Mauro, to be honest, in a perfect world, we'd all learn these things as we're growing up. There'd be classes that taught you that in school, and we'd take them serious and whatnot. And I think if anyone signs up, if they go through your modules and they take it like it's a college level course, just take it like it's a college course. It's not hard material, but like, pay attention, take notes, write it down, say, okay, how can I fit this into my life, rather than, oh God, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I promise you, try it for 3 or 4 weeks first, and then come tomorrow and say, I don't know if this works for me. But if you do it for 3 or 4 weeks, you'll see the results. And then the rest of the 90 days will be a piece of cake. Like, the first 3 weeks are the hardest, but after that, it's going to be, you'll be like, okay, this makes sense now. Because I remember when I saw those pictures of myself from day one to like week 3, I was like, okay, I can see this. I can see it week 2, right? And then it's like progressively gotten better from there. So I don't know. I was just telling you, the fact that I'm at 225 today, me and you didn't think that I could, or you did. You told me that I could, but on our first call, I was like, I just like to be 230, maybe 225. And I thought 225 was a stretch. And now I'm sitting here thinking, I bet I could get to 220, like, probably in 3 weeks. And I bet I could get to 215 maybe in 6 weeks. And then at 215, I don't know if I want to get any smaller and just start building on a little bit of muscle. So I wasn't even thinking that way, back in November. Back in November, I just didn't want to be fat anymore. So that's the kind of stuff that'll change, like, in this program. It's not just about your body, right? It's more about, like, if you believe it, you can achieve it. Like, that's real. So even at this age, even at 43, and it's crazy. Think about this, Mauro. People are locked in their houses, right? No one has seen me. Like, very few people had seen me in a long time. I got customers that come in the office from time to time, but the only people that have seen me go through this every day are my employees. And then, so it's kind of cool when, I'll tell you a funny story, Mauro. I think it was Friday, my ex-girlfriend's roommate, I saw her in the parking lot getting a coffee, right? And so I got up from my desk and I went outside and I said, hey, Megan, how's it going? And she came over and she's talking to me for a couple minutes, just saying, oh yeah, I'm applying for this and I'm applying for that. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then she was like, have you been working out? As a matter of fact, yes, I have. And so, and that happens all the time. I went to the dentist. The dentist was like, hey, what have you been doing? Have you been working out? Like, because you don't see people every day, right? So I'm going to come out and we're going to be playing softball this summer. And all these guys that thought they had a fat guy in the outfield, the world's about to see.
Oh yeah.
They're about to see a new Terry. So that's kind of exciting. Like, how many people can say that at 43? So
with the business, with 2 kids, with operation, surgery, with injuries. So
right.
Thousand excuses, but giving up was never a choice.
Right. And can you hear this chair squeaking?
Yeah.
This is the chair that I used to sit in. And I was so fat, I was like, it's just going to squeak because I'm fat. And so now it's time to replace this chair because I'm sitting here and I'm squeaking in it. And I'm like, all right, this chair has got to go because I haven't sat in this chair in about a month. And now I can tell, like, I wore this chair out at my old weight. So this one's going to go soon.
Poor wood.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's good. Good insights. And What would you say for someone watching who's on the fence, is thinking, I can do it alone, or should I, I can do it alone. Should I do this, or should I really give that guy on the internet a shot here?
What would I say? Well, here's what I would say. You can 100% do it on your own, and you can do all those things. But it doesn't matter how old you are. What if you're 30? What if you're 35? What if you're 40? How's that worked out for you so far? Right. And so for me, when I saw the first picture, so the first picture I saw was in December of 2019. That was from my son's birthday. He had turned 11. Um, and that's when I decided, okay, I got to get in shape. Well, I did it on my own, Mauro. And then in October of 2020, so 10 months later, I saw another picture of myself without my shirt on. And I said, and I looked the same, maybe even a little bit worse. And I had that conversation with myself and I said, I've already had this conversation with myself once. Why haven't I done anything about it in the last 10 months? And then I went through the thing and I said, oh, I did do this and I did do this and I did do this and I'm still there. And so that's why when you and I connected, I was like, you know what? This will be the most expensive thing I've ever paid for myself, like as far as fitness goes, but I need to do it because paying $50 here or paying for this or taking, P90X or whatever it is, none of that stuff ever worked for me. So let's see what this guy's got, because the only thing I have to lose, honestly, is money. And I can make more money, but I can't get in shape any sooner because I've been trying it for years. And so for me, that was kind of the big thing. I could keep floundering around and I could show up in a year later and be like, oh, okay, now I'm 44 and I still look the same as I did when I was 41 and I was frustrated then, right? And so it was just, that was the thing that clicked with me. I realized that I have all the tools. It's like, Mauro, I've given this analogy to someone else. I have an old car in my garage, right? And I've got all the tools in there and it needs some brakes, all right? But guess what I don't have? I don't have the time to go online and figure out how to fix the brakes. I know I'm smart enough to do it, and I have all the tools to do it. And it's not, fixing brakes isn't even a hard job, right? But I don't have the time to figure out how to do it, and I'm afraid if I went and did it, I'd like kill myself because I'd drive in the, if I didn't spend the amount of time to do it. And this is the same thing. Like anybody that thinks that they can do it on their own, 100% you can. But why haven't you yet? And it's probably because you don't have enough time to figure it out. Well, Mauro's got it figured out for you. And just like you could figure out to do a lot of things on your own, it's just going to take you too much time. And as a business owner, that's our most precious commodity. And so literally, I'm telling you, Mauro, I was skeptical when you said 3 times a week for 30 minutes. That's all you got to do. And I was like, okay, bet. And that's exactly what happened. So I did exactly what you said, and I've lost 34 pounds. And it was relative. I mean, don't get me wrong. The first couple times was very humbling. I played lacrosse in college, and you're telling me to do, body weight things. I'm just sitting here like, okay, this is what he told me to do. But guess what? It's exactly what I needed at the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. So it's kind of humbling when you're a high performer or when you're a business owner and you've been in shape before, to take 25 steps back so that you can rebuild and get to where you want to go. But that's if you can bring yourself to do that and put the ego aside, everything will be fine.
Good advice. Thank you. Good analogy as well with the car. Can relate to that. Same as, fixing your computer, fixing your car.
Right.
There are thousands of ways you can put it, but I believe you've showcased it and highlighted it in a great way. So thank you so much for having you here and sharing all the details on your experience and your success. And yeah, I believe you're an inspiration for so many guys. You've brought in so many guys into the program, and your transformation is exciting, and it has just started.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. And honestly, I told all those guys about you because really, that was my way of thanking you, because I didn't think on our first call, I didn't believe you, but I was like wore down enough. Here, I'll pay this guy that lives all the way across the world. And I'll just trust him and see what happens. It can't be worse than what I've been doing. And so that was my thank you to you, because you're the real deal. The program's real. It works. It's exactly as advertised. Like, don't, there's nothing that he's not telling you. It's everything he's saying. So just do it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem.